Hey guys, some time ago I created a tutorial on user registration and email verification, and in the last part of that video I said that I was going to create a password recovery system, that is a password reset system, and that is the system I'm developing today. I will start by showing you a demo of the system, of the password reset system, and then after that we are going to build it from scratch. Not from scratch actually, we are going to be extending from where we ended in the email verification tutorial. So if you haven't yet watched the first and the second part, please do well to watch it, because the password reset system is just going to extend from where we left off in the registration and email verification tutorial. So this is the login page. Let's say I am a user on this website and I come and attempt to log in, and I realize that I have forgotten my password. So the system can help me recover that password. All I need to do is click on the forgot password link. It will take me to a recover password page where it will ask for my email address, the email address I used when I was signing up on this website. So I will enter it here and click on the recover my password button. So when I click on this, the system is going to send me a password recovery link to my email address, and it will ask me to log into my email account and click on that link to reset my password. So I open my Gmail account, and here is the new email I just received. When I open that, it says, "Hello there, click on the link below to reset your password." When I click on that link, it will take me back to my website on the reset your password page. So right now I can enter my new password and then click on the reset password button. So when I do that, it will update the password in the system and then bring me back to the login page to log in now with the new password. So I'm going to enter my email address and the new password I just created, and when I click login, it works now. So this is it about the password reset system. We're just going to go on straight to the implementation right now. So let's close these pages. And then we open the old application from where we left off in the last video. As you can see, in this version, we don't yet have the forgot password link. So let's go back to our code, and the first thing we are going to do is, in our login.html file, we are going to add the forgot password link. I'll change this to HTML. So we are going to add a link that takes us to the forgot password page. I'm just going to place some styles inside here. I want to make the font size a bit smaller and centralize the text. So this is how it looks. This is the only change we have done so far to the login page. So let's go back to the browser and view it. Okay, now when you click on it, it's supposed to take you to the forgot password page. Let's create that file now. The file, we're also going to create it in the root folder of our application, forgotpassword.php. So this is it. It is going to look very similar to the login page. So I'm just going to copy everything inside the login page, paste it inside forgot password page, and modify it. So this is the forgot password page. Then we scroll down, and inside this form we're just going to see recover your password. And of course, this is going to be a form, and it's going to take us to the forgot password page, the same page. There are going to be error messages also in case the user enters the wrong, an improper value for the email address. So it's going to have one input field, which is the email, not the username. Let me take out the value. And then we are not going to need these links under here. The only thing we have here is the recover your password title, the error messages display in case the user enters an invalid email address, and then we have the input field itself to receive the email address from the user, and lastly we have the button, but this button is going to be forgot password, or just call it forgot password, we'll understand it, and we will name this button recover your password. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through the page once again, just in case you didn't follow on something. We just copied the content of the login.php file and we pasted it inside forgot password.php file. We changed the title tag, and then down here we changed the action attribute of the form to forgot password.php, because when the user enters their email, we are going to submit it to the same file, and since we have the auth controller in that file, it will be submitting to the auth controller. After that, we have a title for the form, and then some error messages display in case the user enters an invalid email address. Then we have the only input field, the only text input field for the email. And then lastly, we have the button. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the email label, and then instead of that, I'm going to create a paragraph, and I'm just going to write some text inside here. So the message simply says, please enter your email address you used to sign up on this site, and we will assist you in recovering your password. Okay, so when the user enters, they're going to click on the forgot password button, and the content will be submitted to the forgot password.php page. And since we are including auth controller in that page, it means that we can grab the values of this form inside the auth controller. We just need to know which button was clicked, and in this case it is the forgot password button. So let's open our auth controller. It is inside controllers, auth controller. We scroll to the very bottom of the page, and we see if user clicked on the submit button of the forgot password form, forgot password button, first thing we are going to do is we are going to grab the email address, and secondly we are going to validate this email address to ensure that there are no errors. And because we have already done validation during our sign up, I'm just going to come and copy the validation rows for the email, that is in the sign up section, and then I scroll back down to the end of the page and paste it. So at this point, we can be sure that our email address has been validated. Then if there are no errors in the email address, then we can proceed to send the user an email address in which we will send a password reset link to them. But we have to send a link that is unique only to that user. So we are going to take the user's token from the database, and then we are going to place it inside the link so that when the user clicks on that link, we are going to be able to detect that it is that particular user that is attempting to reset their password. So what we are going to do is we are going to select that particular user. We're going to select that particular user from the database. And guys, I'm going to advise you to don't use this here. You should use prepared statements so that your query can be very secure. I have used prepared statements before up here, so you should use something like this. I'm only doing this to save us some time because the prepared statement is using prepared statements takes a lot of steps. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to query it. The database connection object and the SQL statement. Then after that, I can get the user by executing MySQL fetch assoc, and then I get the result. Okay, so when I do this, I have my user, I have all the information about the user who wants to reset their password, including that user's token. So I'm just going to call a method send password reset link. This is a method we are going to define very soon, and this method is going to take the token of that user, use that token to form a link which we are going to send to the user. I'm just going to refactor this so that my code can look more understandable. So this is the token, we are passing it to the user. And besides passing the token, we are also going to pass the user's email to which you want to send this link. So the send password reset link takes the user's email and the token. And after doing that, we are just going to redirect to a page called password message. You can name it whatever you want as long as you understand what it does. And as you know, whenever we exit in PHP, it's good. Whenever we redirect, it's good to exit so that the rest of the page doesn't continue executing. So this is it. Let's create the password message file, and that is in the root folder of the application. And this is going to look a bit like the forgot password page. So I'm going to copy everything in the forgot password page and paste it inside the message page. So here what we are going to do is we're going to we'll just change the title to password message, and then inside here we are going to take out everything, including even the form. We're just going to let the user know that an email has been sent to their email address. An email has been sent to your email address with a link to reset your password. Okay, so having done that, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to define this function. So this is a function that is going to send the link to our user. And as you remember from our last video, we already have an email controller responsible for sending emails. All we are going to do is we are going to define a new function, and we're just going to call that function send password reset link. This is the email to which we are sending. Let's just call it user email so as to be consistent with what we used up here. So what are we going to do in this function? It's going to be very similar to the email verification function. We're just going to copy this. We scroll down and we paste it inside the send password reset link. So this is the body of the message. We're just going to change the message itself. Say hello there. Please click on the link below to reset your password. So when we do that, we can now change the name of the link to reset your password. And then this one is called token, and the one we had sent for the email verification was also called token. And when the user clicks, they will be taken to the index page, the same as here. So what I would like to do is I want to change the name of this variable to password token to avoid confusing with the other variable. So you see why we had to take the user email and the token. That is because we are fitting the token inside the link, and we are sending that link to that user's email address. And we're just going to change the subject of the email, and we're going to say reset your password. Okay, so this is all about the reset password function. So now the next step is in the login page. When the user has received this email and they have clicked on this link, it is going to take us back to our website, to the index.php page, and in that page we are going to receive the password token and perform our magic with it. So let's go to the index.php page. At the top of this page we are going to do something similar to what we did during email verification. Only this time we are going to be checking for the availability of the password reset token, and if that token is present, we are just going to grab it. Let's call it password token. And when we receive that token, what are we going to do? We're going to call the reset password. When we receive that token, we are going to call the reset password function. And this function, we are going to define it right away, and we'll do that inside our auth controller. So let's copy this. Oh, sorry, we have to change this token. We are passing the password token. Okay, so we are going to define this function straight away inside our auth controller. Let's define it at the bottom of the page. We call it reset password, and it takes the token. And what is it going to do with that token? So we are going to query our database and grab the user who has this token. Then we are going to know that is the user who wants to reset their password. And remember, a token is unique to each user. So when we are grabbing a user whose token has this value, we know that is the only user in our system with this token. Since we're going to be connecting to the database, we're going to call the connection object, bringing it into the scope of this function. And then secondly, we are going to define the SQL to select that user. Where token equal, when we get the first user we stop because that's the only user that exists. Okay, now let's query this. And we grab the user that it returns. So now we have the user. What we want to do is we want to place the email address of this user in the session. So when we have placed that email address in the session, we can then present the user with the reset password form. So redirect them to the reset password form, which we are going to create very soon. And as you know, when you redirect, you exit. Okay, so let me explain this again. We have sent a password reset link to our user. They have clicked on that link. Now what we want to do is we want to take the token from that link and make sure that there is a user in our system who has that token. And when we have grabbed that user, we are going to place their email address inside the session so that we will know that the user whose password we want to reset is this particular user with this email. So later on, when we want to reset the password, that is to actually change the password, we will select the user whose email is this, and then we'll update their password. Now, I know some of you might have a question. For example, you may ask, why are we selecting the user's email address again when we had received that email address from this form when we asked them to enter their email address? And here's the answer to that question. Remember, when we're receiving the user's email address here, we only received it so that we could send them an email. We only received it so that we can send them this email address with the password reset link. Now we have sent them the email, and their email is still available in our email variable here. It is still available here, but they may click the link a different day. Besides, this email address, once we have passed it to this password reset to the send password reset link method, the scope of this email only ends here. It just ends here actually. So when the user has clicked on that link, it is like a new session. In fact, they may take 10 days to click on that link, and so when they come back, you will have to go and fetch their email address again from the database. And also you are doing this to ensure that they are still a user on your website, because it's possible that their account might have been deleted. So that is why we are fetching the user from the database again. Now that we have fetched that user, we are going to create our final page, which is the reset password page. This is a page in which we are going to place a form that will ask our user to reset their password, to enter their new password. And it's going to look a bit like our login page. So we are going to copy everything in our login page, paste it inside the reset password page, and we are going to modify it. We change the title to reset password. Then we scroll down. We are not going to need the username or email field. We are only going to need the password and the confirm password field. So I'm just going to call it password conf, and we are not going to need these links. We're only going to need the reset password button. Sorry, reset password button, and we're going to call it reset password button. And I think that will be all for this form. No, not all actually. Where does this form submit to? It submits to the same page, so we are going to change it to reset password page, and the title of the page is going to be, of course, reset your password. That is the title of this form. Now when the user has clicked on the reset password button, which is down here, it is going to submit to the same page, which is essentially submitting to the auth controller page. So we go to the auth controller, and just above the reset password function, I'm going to say, okay, if user clicked on this form, on this button, we know they are attempting to reset their password, and what we're going to do is we're going to receive that password. So we are going to grab the next one is the password confirmation. And then we are also going to validate to make sure that the two passwords match. And because we already did that inside our registration section, I'm just going to come and copy validation for the password. I'll scroll down and I paste it here. That is, if any of the passwords is empty, it's going to say password required. And if the two does not match, it's going to say the two passwords do not match. Okay, now we have grabbed the password. All we need to do is updating the database, but we want to be sure that there are no errors on the form. So when there are 0 errors, we can now write our update SQL. We set the password to something where the email equal something. Okay, so let's fill these values. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to encrypt the password. So we are going to call the password hash function, and this function takes the password as a string and the password default constant. So when we do this, it's going to encrypt our password. And then also, can you guess where we are going to get our email, our value for this email? Okay, we are going to get it from the session. That is why when the user clicked on the link and came to our page, we called the reset password function, and that function placed the email inside the session. So that is why we are able to identify that user now by that email. Then this one now is the hashed password. So we are going to just going to query. So when we do this, we are sure that our password has been updated. If result was successful, If the query was successful, we will redirect to the login page and then we exit. Okay, so now let's test all of what we have implemented. Let's go to the browser. First of all, I want to delete the previous reset password message. I'm going to delete it, and then let me go back to the login page. I will click on the forgot password link. I'll enter my email address and click recover your password, and it takes me back to the same page. That's probably just a mistake. Oh, there is a mistake somewhere. Let's find that out. Go back to our code to the forgot password page. It submits the same page, forgot password, and the button that does the submit is named forgot password. So go to auth controller. This is the forgot password button. Oh, okay, now I've discovered the mistake. It is forgot password, not forgot password. So we are going to spell this correctly. OR. You probably saw this. Sorry about the mistake. Now we are going to go back to our form and let's start the whole process again. We click on the forgot password link. It takes us to the recover your password page. We enter the email address to recover our password. We click recover your password. Okay, it says an email has been sent to the email address with a reset password link. Now if you come to your email address, this is the message. It says please click on the link below to reset your password. I click on this link, it takes me back to our web page, to our website on the reset password form. Now I'm going to enter a new password and I click reset password. Okay, and there is another mistake on line 207 in auth controller. Let's see that. This is auth controller. We scroll to line 207. Oh, this is supposed to be header. This is supposed to be header, not location. We are redirecting to the login page. Again, you probably saw this. Sorry about the error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just confirm a resubmission of the form, and our password has been updated and we have been taken to the login page to log in again. So I'm going to enter that new password and click login, and it logs me in. So that's it, guys. We have just finished. We have just successfully implemented a password reset system. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry about my poor explanation. I could have done this video for a lot. I could have made this video a lot shorter than this, but I hope that you get the point, you get the whole idea of how to create a password reset system. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments below and I'm going to try to help you. And thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and have a nice day.